Welcome to this multimedia training on the EX4 EX1 tester. My name is Ibrahim Mabardi, a technical support specialist at EX4. Today, I will introduce the EX4 Ethernet Services Broadband Tester, EX1, and demonstrate how to operate the pod, connect to it, set it up, and perform speed tests on different interfaces. As you can see, EX1 is a pocket-sized test set. Let's do first a quick tour presenting the EX1 physical characteristics. On the front interface, we have a power button. Simply press and hold it for 5 seconds. The power LED starts flashing green, so it's booting up. Whenever it's solid green, the pod is ready to use. This button to the right is the play button, which is reserved for future applications. The LED here shows the battery power level and charging status. So when it's off, the pod is off or running on battery. Flashing green, as now, means it's charging. Whenever the charge is extremely low, 5% or less, for example, the LED flashes red, inviting you to charge it. On the left-hand side, there is the USB Type-C port that has power feed capacity and used for charging the pod. On the right-hand side, we do see the RS-232 connector, and that's used for service and maintenance. On the back side, you can see the cover for the rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Here is the tag that shows the product number, serial number, hardware version, and manufacturing date. Here, at the bottom, we can see the interfaces, the actual physical test interface connections. To the right, I do have electrical RJ45 port that support Ethernet 10, 100, 1000 megabit per second. To the left is the optical port for 100 meg and 1 gig E optical interface. Beside that, we do have the wireless interface, Wi-Fi 802.11 AC, and the Bluetooth Low Energy BLE version 4.2. As a hardware components, EX1 uses dual core processor, 1 gig RAM memory, and 8 gig disk space capacity. Now, let me show you how to set up and perform a speed test using the RJ45 electrical interface. First of all, you need to make sure that your pod is powered on. Second, on your smart device, and for this demonstration purpose, I'm going to use the iPad. After you install the EX4 EX1 application, you just launch it. Now, I can see that my iPad detects the tech support EX1 and it is connected to it. So I'm ready to set up the test and run it. But before doing that, let me show you here the tabs I have. This is the Bluetooth connection. It shows you the connectivity. And the second one is the speed test. This is where I go and set up my test before I run it. The third one is the reports that shows the previous reports. I'm saving it here. And the one at the bottom is about, which it shows you that the version you installed, you can download the user guide, and you have the technical support, communication info, and the license agreement between EX4 and Ookla. Now, let's go back to the main tab, which is the speed test. Here I can set up my test by clicking at the top right corner where is the gear icon. First of all, it detects that my interface is 1 gig E. Now, the speed test servers, by default, it goes to automatic. However, I can click on it and deactivate that by going to select the server, the testing server, the Ookla test server manually. So I can pick up any server detected here. But for the demonstration purpose, I'm gonna stay with the automatic server configuration. Thresholds, this is where I enable or disable my test threshold for latency, download, and upload. Back to the interface tab, and here, as we mentioned, we can do the electrical 10, 100, 1000 meg, or the Wi-Fi. For now, I'm going to use the electrical port, so I'm going to hit OK. So my connector is RJ45, I have auto negotiation enabled, and the speed is auto. Network tab. If you click on the network tab, you can see your MAC address here, the DSCP if it's enabled or disabled, and now for this demo, I have it enabled, where I can get the IP address, the dynamic IP address from the server, and the same for the other information. Of course, if you need to configure it manually, so you just simply disable the DSCP here, and then you can edit your IP addressing information. Let's put it back to enable the DHCP. Then back here. Now the next tab is the Ookla privacy notice. For the reports, you can see the job information here. If you click on that one, this is what it should show you on the report, on the test report. So if you want to edit your job ID, the customer name, contractor name, operator name, circuit ID, etc., so you can come here and edit it. For the format, we do have the PDF format and the CSV format for the test report. Here under system, it shows you the Wi-Fi. I'm not connected currently to the Wi-Fi because I'm testing the Ethernet, testing the RJ45. The date and time, it sets to automatic. The battery, if you click on the battery here, it shows you like the charge remaining, if it's plugged in charging, and the auto shutdown. This feature, it allows you like to enable or disable auto shutdown. I'm disabling it now, but if you enable auto shutdown, it gives you a period of setup. So you can have from 1 minute to 5 minutes period that your pod will be shut down automatically. I'm gonna re-disable it again. Go back. The last tab here at the bottom is the device information. If you click on it, you can see your product version, which is the firmware version installed on the pod, the server that we used to update the firmware, and by the way, the EX1 is a cloud-enabled firmware upgrade, meaning there is no need to install or download anything on your computer and then to your pod. It's simply you need a connectivity on the pod, and the updates should be done automatically. Here under device, we can see the device information, including device name, model number, serial number, assembly hardware revision, and manufacturing date. If you need to give your EX1 a name or rename it, you click on device name, and then you can edit the device name in here. Let's go back to the speed test after I set it up. I see here that my link is 1 gig E, and I'm gonna run the test by clicking at the bottom right corner on the green play icon. Here you agree or accept the Ookla privacy policy agreement. As you can see now, the test is running, and the latency, download and upload results, we can see it via visual gauges. My latency is done and it passed, meaning it passed the threshold. The download is done as well. I can see my download is passed as well. And here is the third part, which is the upload speed test. Now, if you see here, report generation was done automatically, so it did generate a PDF file. with my test. If I need to view the PDF, I can click on this icon at the bottom right. I have two options, either to view it or to share it. So let's see here, I need to view the report before I send it. Here's my report. It shows all the information, including the results. It passed. Or all the settings, I see it here at the bottom. So now I see everything goes fine. I'll click on done. I want to send this PDF file to my email or to put it on the cloud, so I click again on the bottom right corner. Then I click on share PDF, and I can email it or send it or upload it to the cloud. And that's it. Now, let me show you how to set up and perform a speed test using the Wi-Fi 802.11 AC interface. As we have seen in the previous example, we make sure that the pod is powered on, then the smart device is paired to it. If I go to the speed test here, I can see that I'm still using the 1 gig E interface. So the first thing I have to do is change my interface from the electrical one to the Wi-Fi. I click at the top right corner on the gear icon. Here, I can see that I pick up the speed test servers as automatic. My threshold, I already enabled them. I can disable them if needed. The interface. This is where I switch from the electrical one to the Wi-Fi. Hit OK. Here it shows me it's not connected. Now automatically switch to the Wi-Fi, X for public Wi-Fi, and it is connected. I can see here the frequency of this Wi-Fi. If we click on channel map, here you can see that the application provides dynamic graphical view of all active channels on 2.4 or 5 gigahertz frequency. Now I know my Wi-Fi interface should be on a 5 gig frequency, so I go here and switch to 5 gig. And this is my dynamic graphical view. Here I see the Wi-Fi I'm connected to. You see the home icon there. It detects the Wi-Fi I'm connected to, and this is what I'm gonna test actually. If I go back, click back again, the rest is similar to the test we have seen. If you click on the network tab, you can go with the DHCP that's already automatic. The same thing for the reports and the system information. Let's go back, and then I click on the green icon here to run the test. I accept Ookla privacy policy agreement. Now, this is my client information, which is Bell Canada. This is my Ookla server that I'm using. My latency is passed. I have 74.16 megabit per second as download speed. I have upload 55.82 megabit per second. Now my PDF report is ready. I can see now the effective rate does meet the expected SLA. Let me see first the PDF. I have all the information here that I need to show. Go back. I will email it to myself. So just go share and email. And that's it. Thank you for watching the EX1 Multimedia. For further training or assistance, please give us a call at 1-866-683-0155 or send an email to tech.training@exo.com.